Hello and welcome back to Tulsa, Oklahoma for the 2024 PDGA Junior World Championships presented by Innova Discs. We've got round 3 coverage of the MJ18 division coming for you. Brought to you by Gatekeeper Media. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Dan Brooks Wells. How's it going, Dan?
Doing good, man. We got some awesome young men here to watch today. Still a little bit of heat, but not as humid as it has been. So here's our leaderboard so far.
Yeah, we got Ryan Monn leading the way after a hot round yesterday in round 2. He is followed closely by Patrick Yu, Elijah Cleary, and Broden Barlow. Should be some exciting coverage, some returning faces and some new faces on this round 3 lead card.
And we are back to POSTOAK. This is hole 1, par 4, 550 feet. So as you can see, it is a tight tunnel all the way. Basket is just has a little bit of drop off behind it, but for the most part, hit the gap, land in the landing zone, give yourself a open shot in.
Yeah, we saw Ryan play this course in round 1. Did have some struggles, especially on the putting green. Had a nice round yesterday in round 2 at the Blackhawk course. So he's looking for a little bit of a bounce back round here, a bit off on his tee shot there.
Yeah, that's something we might have expected from Ryan. Glad to see him back here in the lead card. And this is a beautiful shot from Cleary. Perfectly thrown.
Yeah, very well executed there. Broden Barlow up next out of Knoxville, Tennessee, 988 rated player. Likes that backhand turnover line as well. Bit of an early release. Does not quite get through that corner.
Close to getting through, doesn't end up happening. Didn't seem like it got a bad kick to the left or right, just kind of stayed where it was. And back on our lead card is Patrick Yu, who had a little bit of a, struggles yesterday, but played well enough to find himself here.
Yeah, and the reason he was on our lead card yesterday was because he shot the hot round here in round 1. So I'm sure he would love to replicate that again. Keep himself in the mix. So Ryan Monn, early hit on this hole, just looking to throw a turnover forehand. Actually getting aggressive here. And it works out for him.
Yeah, definitely. Why not get aggressive with a forehand like that? Even got a little skip out of it, and we're going to try and see the same thing here.
Yep. Barlow with the step out, doesn't quite hit the line correctly, catches these outside trees, but still in position. He's basically at the spot that a decent drive would land off the tee. So if he gets aggressive here, or I should just say executes his shot, could potentially get a look to save the par, and that is very well thrown. Slides it up into circle 1.
Yeah, definitely looking good. Don't want to have a tester right off the bat. Just kind of want to dunk it. Nothing wrong with that. This is looking like a slow speed disc. Trying to skip it into this green. Doesn't seem like he got as far as he would have liked.
Yeah, I think just a bit of a low release from you and doesn't quite get the ground play. This is Cleary now. Smooth little backhand turnover. Gets him right around the edge of circle.
Yeah, so here is Monn. Close enough to give it a jumper after that. Pretty great upshot. He'll be able to walk away with his par.
Yeah, that was a great second shot that Ryan had, able to get him back in position and into stress-free par territory. So Cleary here, right around 30 feet, only a birdie look of the group, and that is a nice confident putt to start his day. Knocks it down from circle's edge.
Yeah, that had a little smoke behind it. That was rocketed in.
Barlow, this is going to be a par save for him after a nice third shot. Taps that 15-footer in.
Everyone seeming to do pretty good scrambling right here off the bat. As we saw in day one, it definitely takes a little bit of scramble skill to shoot well at this course. Got to be able to save your pars when you get off the fairway, which is definitely going to happen at some point. So here is hole 2. This is a par 3, 290 feet. Getting through this initial gap and just trying to flex it over here to the right. You're going to see a lot of forehands, but there is definitely a slow flipping backhand route.
Yep, Cleary is going to opt for that forehand line. This looks like it's on a good angle and gets the ground play as well to scoot him up just a bit long of the basket.
Yeah, and I think the preferred play is definitely the forehand. Something overstable, throwing it flat, letting it work left to right. Monn just getting a little branch, leaving it a bit too high. We'll have to see what he's left there for his bird.
Yeah, looking like an obstructed circle 2 putt for him.
The cloud of dust.
The Gannon-Burr method.
That's right.
Plenty of chalk going for more of the outside line with the overstable disc. Doesn't quite get back in time. Catches a late tree. He's probably just going to have a pitch up from there. We didn't see you go to the forehand too much off the tee in round 2. He relied a little bit more on those kind of slow turning backhands, and this one is just slightly misreleased.
Yeah, sometimes when players choose to do that, it's just a confidence thing. He's definitely got a really good backhand. There's no reason why he can't use that the majority of the time, and there's a good forehand chip shot up to the basket to save his par.
Yeah, Barlow looks like he's going to give this a run. Still has a look from deep circle 2, maybe just outside. Unable to connect. And yeah, let's see what Monn has here.
Actually pretty open. And able to knock it down. We did see round 1, he gave himself a ton of birdie putts, and he probably connected with half of them. So if he's able to connect with, 80% or more this round, he's probably going to put down a good number. And there is also a good putt there by Cleary.
Yeah, great birdie putt for him. Off to a nice start, 2 down through 2. Able to keep that momentum from his hot round yesterday. Was only 1 stroke behind Ryan Monn for the round. Keep that momentum going here in round 3. This is you to save his par. Good putt there.
And guys, the hardest part of the course is already behind us. We forgot to mention that hole 1 did play as the hardest, so only gets easier. This whole played middle of the pack.
Yeah. Opposite of Blackhawk that we saw yesterday with a much softer start and then gets hard on the back nine. This course definitely more scoreable as we go along.
Right, you are. And this is hole 3, par 4, 440 feet. Looking to keep something down the fairway as it does slope downward and a little bit to the left. You can get yourself anywhere in here. It's really an easy pitch up just past the fire hydrant. Not many courses have a fire hydrant feature in the middle, so something to aim at. And we did see an eagle putt round 1 that just barely missed. Let's see if these guys can get close and maybe have a shot at it.
Yeah, it's a great start from Cleary. Turns the cameraman a little bit off the fairway, but he is definitely far enough down there that he'll have a very doable up and down. Bit of a misrelease for Monn, but a great break as he kicks back into the middle. That might have been a stroke saver, at least one stroke.
Yeah, potentially anything in the fairway here. I mean, I don't care if you're 150 feet down the fairway. You can definitely get up and down for your birdie. This, however, does leak left, and he might have like a step out forehand that he could make something work. We'll have to see what he's comfortable with. So here is Patrick Yu, looking like a high-speed driver here.
Yeah, he's going full send on that hyzer flip line. This looks like it is on a great angle. Skips a bit off the fairway, but he is pin high left. Going to have an eagle look from just outside the circle.
Yeah, it seems like he's somewhere as far as that fire hydrant, probably pin high to the fire hydrant. So anything by that is definitely a good look. Monn off early left for his upshot. Probably just left with a pitch up from there. So here's Clear. Here is, Barlow. Doing that forehand flex I was talking about, that was pretty awesome. And that will put him inside the circle for his birdie.
Yeah, well thrown scramble shot there to get him back on track, and just a long, very smooth little spin putt.
That was like on the chains for 90% of the flight.
Yeah, so here we go. Eagle look for Patrick Yu, just outside the circle. A couple of trees to work around, but he doesn't care about him. Knocks it down, spins it in. Love to see it.
Very nice. So definitely getting a stroke on our card, maybe two. We'll have to see how these putts fall. So here's Monn at that tester range that it's kind of 50-50 day one, and he is able to knock that down. I'm curious if some of these guys, after their rounds, how much they go home and practice for the next day. You never know. Some guys need to get into the zone that way.
Yeah, especially too, like late tee times, these guys not teeing off till 3 p.m. I'm sure they get antsy teenagers just sitting around all day. So
too much energy,
maybe getting multiple rounds in a day. Who knows? That is a great putt for Barlow. Knocks down the birdie after a tough lie on his second. Well done, and this is a one better than a star frame for the card.
Hole 18 at Worlds, down by one. It's got to go in.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Hole 4, par 3, 410 feet. Can take the low line. Got to miss some trees here through one of these gaps. Or you can go over the top, which is what we saw the majority. I think all of our players do round one.
Yeah, it looks like, as you can see from that flag on the right, bit of a headwind here. So you've got to have plenty of juice if you want to go for that over the top line. Yu is just trying to go straight at it. Fortunately, comes out a bit high. He leaks off the fairway. Probably will just have a short pitch up for his par.
And it looks like Cleary is also going underneath. They're on this forehand flex line, which I like. It just needs to come out of it. Looks like it tried to. He's a little left, but probably has a putt.
Yeah, it depends on how far into the rough he made it, just past the green. Looks like Monn is looking skyward, trying to go up and over again. We saw him struggle. He took a bogey on this hole in round one. Going with this play, just didn't quite get the plinko he was looking for. This time comes up a bit short, but that's not a bad result.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe the wind today might not be the best for going over the top. As we can see, 3 out of the 4 of our guys have chose to challenge these trees low on. Looks like he caught something and he will be scrambling to save his par.
Yeah, so nobody in great position. This is a well thrown up shot from Monn. Got to have good touch on this one. It's kind of slopes downhill, especially behind the basket. Barlow did take a tough kick here off the fairway. And has a little scramble forehand. Gets a little redirect off a branch, but
We take it.
doesn't matter.
Absolutely. So you, after the eagle, deciding to just lay this one up, take his par, no reason to risk anything. I would think Cleary is going to try and run this one, though. This looks to be about 35, 40 feet. Maybe 40, 45, actually.
Yeah, probably just outside the circle. He has a nice spinny putt, but unfortunately that one does not catch any metal. And oh man, this is a brutal lie for the comebacker. And yeah, that's a tough 3-putt to take early in the round.
Yeah, definitely challenged that risk reward of going for it and found himself on the losing end that time around. I don't hate the play. I think he should still run it every time. But here is a good scramble there by Barlow. And that is the second one in a row with that little forehand flex he's able to get a good one off.
Yeah, that shot shape coming in handy a lot on these courses. So good to have a variety of options when scrambling out here. Not too surprising from the card to see 3 pars and 1 bogey. Hole 4 is a tough one and played as such.
Moving on to hole 5. This is a par 4, slightly uphill off the tee pad. This is 420 feet, but you're probably trying to bite off 270 to start. Landing somewhere in here, maybe a little bit before that, and getting to this dangerous green that really drops off. So it's pretty much just like a U shape up and around the bend.
Yeah, most of the players are going to take this right side gap off the tee, just a nice soft hyzer. You wants it to get left, and he does get a nice little skip up into position.
So Jake Monn looking like a slower speed disc in his hand, probably somewhat of an overstable mid, I would assume. Hits the gap nicely, and he gets a really nice right to left skip. I believe it's a very similar shot just from where he's at.
Yep, just going back downhill from there, but yeah, perfectly executed tee shot. You can't really bite off too much more. This one catches a branch in the fairway for Barlow. That's a tough break. Not too bad of a kick, so he can still make that work. Cleary trying to get aggressive, going high with the driver.
Oh my goodness.
Gets a huge skip and the
a
roll.
roll.
Why not?
He's looking at the basket. He might even have if he wants to run it, he probably can.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise the run just because of how downhill it is. If he misses, he's going 50 long, but yeah.
I'd be in the
easy
back of his
birdie
ear.
if he wants it. Yeah,
Do
we'll
it.
Be the devil and the angel on his shoulder.
Glory awaits you. Run the putt. I don't mind that play there. It doesn't seem like he was going for the pin. He does want to end up on that right side, though, so he has a clear look into it. So, good scramble by Barlow to get himself to here. Just an easy putter shot. Now, you really got to control the weight of this disc because you can get a good skip down the hill. That was probably a little farther than what you're comfortable with, but he will have an opportunity to save his par.
Yeah, touchy little distance here. Like you said, Dan, these roots helping Ryan Monn out there. Checks his disc up nicely. And yeah,
All
just
right.
a standstill putt.
Come on.
Nope.
It's all right, dude. You did the right thing.
It's the smart play.
I know.
But they're teenagers. They're supposed to be doing dumb stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what that was a great run from you.
Talk about dumb stuff. Stupid chains right there.
Yeah.
Good putt by you.
And a nice putt by Barlow. Knocks down the par save, coming back uphill. Yeah, that one had a little more meat than he would have liked. Like you said, 25, 28 feet uphill. It's a good one to make.
He able to knock it down, and he's found himself off the fairway a bit, and this is it's great, but it's just an easy birdie by Cleary. Barlow's found himself off the fairway quite a bit, but it hasn't really bit him yet. He's been able to scramble, use that forehand flexor, and make it work. And that's what you need out here. Not to glance over Ryan Monn having a nice birdie, and you unfortunately spit out with right side chains. Just has to settle for his par. So this is hole 6, par 3, 290 feet. Low ceiling, tight off the tee, tight all the way, really. Little dog leg to the right, just a bit at the end.
Monn going to go for the forehand flex shot. Just getting some late stability just in time.
Yeah.
Wow, what a shot.
Perfect. I love the overstable play. I love taking that putter or mid that has the stability and being able to trust it on that Anheuser to flex out of it. Seems like Clear. Yeah, it seems like Clear was doing the same, but maybe a little early.
Yeah, I just didn't quite either one get enough turn on it or, yeah, like you said, just a bit of an early release.
So this is something I would expect most people to forehand. We saw Patrick try to do it on hole 2. It didn't really work out for him. Maybe he's just more comfortable with this backhand shot. Just a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to throw it like that, just dead straight, take the 30-footer, like that's, if you can do that every time or 9 times out of 10, I think most people would be just fine with that result.
Yeah. I mean, you got to play to your strengths too. So I think he might have just been testing it out and maybe go with the backhand here from now on. But Barlow taking an overstable, looked like a faster disc, getting over on it a bit, kind of dirting it.
Yeah, so he's got this just chip up forehand now to save the par. Catches a late tree, going to still have a little bit of meat on the bone from about 25, 28 feet.
Yeah, let's see if he can keep his streak alive of being able to scramble. And this is where Cleary ended up. Not too great, but hits a small gap and gets a nice flare skip. Be an easy little 15-footer.
Yeah, anticipated the ground play nicely. Here's you for his birdie circles edge putt in the heart.
There you go. If you're going to hit your 30-footers, you can do whatever you want. You're going to play good.
Exactly. That makes everything else so much easier when the putt is feeling good. Barlow's got another tester to save a par. He's had a decent amount of these to start his round so far. Just hasn't been hitting his lines off the tee like he'd want.
Yeah, this one just slightly downhill. Just caught a lot of chains, but that was just a tad left.
Yeah, tough bogey to take. Here on 6. Kind of some awkward footing for Cleary. He's in this little ditch with some rocks. Not sure the best way to play it.
Just remember, you get 11 inches behind your disc, so give yourself good footing best you can. But he makes light work of it. Good scramble by him. And here is where Monn ended up. And his arm is basically long enough to just reach it in at that point.
Yeah, great start for Ryan Monn, picking up where he left off in round 2, 4 down through 6. Exactly what he wanted.
We're through 54 holes.
It is going to be an exciting championship Sunday.
Evelina with what might have been the single best drive in the division.
Evelina has been so good at throwing those direct lines.
2024 PDGA Champions Cup presented by Bushnell winner, Evelina Salonen.
Hole 7, par 3, 300 feet. Plays a little snake here, left to right and then right to left. Taking something overstable, putting it on a little bit of a flex line, letting it work its way out. Pretty uphill. So, got to give this one a good amount of juice. Get it up there.
Yeah, I think most of these guys probably going to opt for the fairway driver just to make sure they get it there, and then you get that little bit of stability at the end of the flight. Ooh, a little kiss for Ryan Monn off the tree. Doesn't make too much of a difference. He's coming up quite a bit short still, though.
Yeah, that is way up there. Just a tough green to access. You gotta trust your, your just like power shot rip. Maybe throw something that is a little bit understable to get the flip and glide up the hill. Good stroke there by you. Maybe there's a majority of players that play this for par as well. Just because of how much force you got to put on the disc. And that took a horrible reaction.
That was one of the stranger things I've seen a disc do when it hits the ground. It just turned on put it in reverse and just took off into the rough. It was just a brutal break for Cleary. He's going to get up there and be like, how did my disc get so far off the fairway? It was looking great.
Oh, man.
So nobody in position for the birdie. Barlow's going to be up first with another scramble, but that is very well thrown. Sneaks it through the left side and close to the basket.
That'll do just fine as well. Probably a 20-footer looking there. And I would think that a lot of drives get to right about where Patrick is, and it's really just nothing to do but pitch up.
Yeah. Slightly downhill too, so no reason to run this one and potentially get yourself into some trouble. I think maybe Ryan Monn's going to try to make this thing.
Yeah, potentially.
Back edge of circle 2.
Yeah, he's feeling good, right? You're on a streak.
Yeah, maybe a little floaty half bid.
Yeah, I don't dislike the try. Ride your momentum, and that was just yanked right out of the hand.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Cleary. He just missed it. Now has a comebacker to keep it to a bogey.
Oh my goodness. That's a tough one. That's definitely a tough one right there. Ryan able to tap in his pars. The rest of these guys are going to tap in as well. This did play as the 6th most difficult hole. Not a lot of birdies, right? But not a lot of bogeys either. So hole 8, par 3, 360 feet. Snaking here left to right and trying to get a little stable finish at the end. This one is also uphill, so you got to put a good move on it. You got to trust a fast speed disc through this gap.
This is looking great from Monn. Gets a little lucky too at the end. finds himself around that 35-foot mark.
I don't know about you, Nathan. This looks very tight, especially compared to some of our other holes. This is, my guess, one of the more difficult ones on the course as well. Catches a late tree, I would say maybe 80 foot up the hill.
Just a bit overturned from Barlow there. Yeah, this is a very demanding shot, A lot of guys, too, aren't really comfortable hitting gaps on that Anheuser angle that you kind of need on a hole like this. You see Cleary going with the flip-up forehand, super technical line. Kind of just playing for par, I think, from there. Just has an easy pitch up. But, yeah, very demanding shot shape.
Yeah, and if you hit early and you get a kick left or
Ooh.
right.
Oh, it didn't stick.
No.
What a shot for Barlow on the scramble.
And he's so good, and we've seen it time and time again. He's so good at that Anheuser forehand flex shot. Almost pays off tremendously for him.
Yeah, wow, that was a great run. And yeah, uphill like this, you can definitely give it a go. This putt, Patrick, you definitely is going to want to try to make it.
Yeah, get it up there. Give it all you got. Just a bit right. So here is Monn for his birdie. Kind of looking like he's putting back down at it. He is able to connect on a nice one, taking a few strokes on the card here. He is off to a hot start.
Yeah, 5 through 8 on this course is no joke. He shot 6 down in round 1 and has almost already matched that total. He'll have a chance to match that total on the front 9, so definitely taking a bit of a commanding lead over the lead card so far. Good comebacker for you. Cleary able to do the same. Yeah, man, that would have been a great highlight for Barlow, but we'll have to settle for a good par save.
Nothing wrong with it. Moving on to hole 9. This is a par 4, 520 feet. Got to get out this gap, but as soon as you do, it does open up. There is OB on the left side, but if you don't find that, then you will have an open shot into this basket. Now you got to be careful. The long grass to the left of the basket is also OB.
A lot of guys going with the forehand here. Shapes the fairway well, doesn't really bring that out of bounds into play as long as you go with a sufficiently overstable disc. Monn with a bit of a high release, but does get through those branches, and he's going to end up in a great spot, probably less than 250 feet from there.
So Patrick, you, as we've been discussing, more comfortable at the backhand, just puts a hurting on this one, and it flexes out nicely. He's in that open spot where he'll be able to toss whatever he wants into the pin.
Yeah, only real danger going into the basket is distance control. That OB line is pretty close behind, as we'll see here in a second. This disc needs to get down, and it does nicely. Checks up for Barlow. It was a nice smooth release. Just a bit off from Cleary. An early release kicks him right. Just going to have to pitch out around the corner now.
Does that successfully. Doesn't try to bite off too much. He knows that if he just gets himself back out into the fairway, it should be an easy par save. But here is Barlow keeping it high, keeping it on hyzer, getting away from the OB. And that'll do. That'll be a little bit of a tester putt, but nothing he can't handle. Going. Successful scramble by Cleary. going to be able to tap that one in. And here is where Patrick Yu's backhand got to. Pretty far down the fairway here.
Yeah, just a nice pitch up by... When you're this close, normally you'd like to run it, but with the OB about 15 feet behind the basket, it's probably more wise to just pitch it up and take your nice easy birdie.
Yeah, no reason to risk any strokes when you can take one instead.
We got Barlow here.
Oh.
Bit in the weeds, but knocks it down. It's a nice straddle putt to get him back under par for the round.
Yeah, very nice. And again, good scramble by Cleary. And Patrick here is about 12 feet away here to get himself to 4 under par.
Yeah, should be able to knock it down here in a sec. We got to give a shout out while he does. John Puckett was able to grab the Eagle 2 on this hole, the only one of the day. I figured that is shout out worthy. Also, we missed an even more important shout out, or maybe arguably more impressive. On hole 1, we had an Eagle, the hardest hole on the course. Luke
oh my goodness,
Mazzucci. So yeah, that was sorry, Luke, for the delay in that shout out, but well done from you. Ryan Monn, 6 down on the front 9. Patrick Yu at 4 down. Those two guys are leading the way. We've got some other hot scores on the course from Harrison Young and Lauren Butterbaugh trying to make some moves up the leaderboard. We are about halfway through this tournament in this 5.5 round Junior World Championship. We've got 9 more holes of round 3, so make sure to tune into the back 9 and we'll see you there.